Well, you know, when we sent our crew up to Warwick, you know, we had to get some footage on Coach St. Lawrence. And he was great, called us back right away. We said, we're going up. He said, oh, that's great, thank you. We put a mic on him. This guy should have his own reality television show. I told the guys, I just need a couple of shots, you know, for this video. I showed them the video that we've made in years past. Get me the shots and get out. 2.5 tapes. He was a tour guide, took us around the track, under the hut, talked about all the kids, and it didn't matter if it was the fastest kid or a kid who could hardly move. They were all the same. From Warwick High School, the legend, Tim St. Lawrence.
All right, here we go. Now, before I get started, I know Len Elmore is a Harvard man. I just want to tell you about my background growing up. My senior year was June. I went into my guidance counselor. I said, I want to go to college. He said, where you been? I said, I've been right here at Suffern High School these 4 years. He said, well, I'll tell you what. Come back tomorrow, let's see what we can do. He looks at my SAT scores. He calls me back the next day. He said, St. Lawrence? I said, yeah. He said, the lower the board scores, the hotter the weather. You're going to the University of Alabama. All right. I want to thank everyone here tonight. I've got a little script so I don't go over my 5 minutes. But ladies and gentlemen, honorees, past and present, family members, colleagues, and athletes, and friends of the Frank McGuire Foundation, it is a privilege and an honor tonight for me to share with you the wonderful joy of receiving the most cherished award in high school sport, the Frank McGuire Foundation Award. The legendary spirit and uplifting passion of the coach, Frank McGuire, has touched every teacher and coach in America. Coach McGuire gave us the real gift, that being the gift of great example. He taught us the lessons of character and discipline and loyalty and the spirit of team activity. This Frank McGuire Foundation continues to promote, educate, donate, and lead the way for outstanding high school athletes and coaches. Tonight is a wonderful opportunity for me to say thank you to so many people that have touched my life, who helped me look a lot better than I really am. First of all, my family, my loving wife, Alice, my 2 proud sons, Tim and Mike, my humble parents, Joe and Marguerite St. Lawrence, and my awesome brothers, Joe, Chris, and George. They gave me confidence growing up. And I, too, was blessed with great high school coaches. My high school coach at Suffern High School was my father, Joe St. Lawrence, and taught me much. And at the University of Alabama, I was coached by the great John Mitchell. And of course, I watched Bear Bryant and Frank McGuire over in South Carolina and started to formulate my philosophies of teaching young people. My club coach, Jim Rafferty and Ray Lump, right here from the world-famous New York Athletic Club, where I competed. I teach in a great community and a great school in Warwick, New York. Super supportive administrators, starting with our superintendent of schools, Dr. Frank Greenhall, my athletic director, Greg Sirico, and my PE director and best friend, John Russo. I have been inspired, like all of us, by great community leaders trying to build a bond between community and school. Guys like Jeff Ahern, Tony Majewski, George Large, George McManus, Robert Kennedy, all the guys that make community and school one. My thanks go out to my nominating sponsor tonight, the one and only, the pride of New York City and the king of track and field and cross country, from Bishop Lachlan High School, Dr. J.J. Bose, my sponsor. I am part of a great running staff at Warwick Valley High School. I'm just one of 8 guys, dedicated coaches Rich First and Mike Potter, Joan Ruckert and Ryan Candia, John Russo and Al Mayer, and Curtis Akaki. They always put kids first. I want to salute my coaching mentors who taught me early that it's not how much you know about sport, it's how much you care. They are Lou Hall and Art Jessup, and Joe Biddy, and Dan Doherty, and Tommy Doherty, and Dick Wilson, and Hugh Cathers, and George St. Lawrence, and Don Buckley. These are the guys that I tried to follow. I owe them much. And I'd like to thank my organizing point man, John Russo, and Greg Large for making this all possible for me tonight. My sincere thanks go out to the Frank McGuire Foundation for the beautiful donation that goes back into our schools. And finally, I want to thank the heart and soul of any high school program and our success at Warwick Valley. The athletes in purple, the old saying goes, if you are to go into teaching, by your students be taught. And the students have taught me much in my 34 years. 6,000 young men and women who run track and field and cross country under my tenure, and the rest of the coaches who carried the torch with character, class, and lifted me up with their spirit and pride. They taught me to dream big. All Americans in courage, notably Greg Large, Bobby Barrett, Chris Nippert and Mike Potter, Marie Stevens and Alec Gauss, John and Tim Marion, Marcia Monk, Joe Straub, Frankie Feliciato, and all the other purple ghosts who put that jersey over those skinny little shoulders and ran with pride. I share this award with them all. I am most grateful. Long live the teaching lessons of Frank McGuire and the generosity of this Frank McGuire Foundation. Hip, hip, hooray!